Yo, what's good, man? It's Petey McGee. You might recognize me from the hit Starz show, Power Book 2 Ghosts as Salim, Ashe Freeman, aka Trevor Nelson. Hey, what's up, man? I'm here with my guys, man, Real Life Street Stars. I just did a dope interview, so y'all subscribe, y'all check it out, tap in with them, man. They the hottest thing going right now. I'm telling y'all, tap in.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
it ain't real life. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Everybody start clapping right now. Yeah! Black excellence in the building. Petey McGee in the building. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's the deal, man?
Man, you already know, man. Real black excellence, man. Real actor in the building. Real star power in the building. Real thespian. Man, you know, before we get all the way started, bro, we just want to get a little background. You know, just tell us where you're from and how you got into the acting gig.
Yeah. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, originally. I got into acting. I didn't have no intentions on being an actor, actually. I used to do music. I was a rapper. I did that in Kansas City for a minute. I toured around everywhere. I worked with everybody there. This was like 08. I had everything on lock in the city back in 08. And then my mom passed, a bunch of other stuff happened, and I quit music. I quit everything for a minute. And when I resurfaced to the world, I was like, I'm gonna go to school. And I just try to choose something easy, honestly. I was like, well, what can I choose that's gonna be easy? And I'm flipping through the admissions book at University of Missouri, and I landed on acting. I got a brother who's an actor, a couple other people I knew. So I was like, oh, that should be easy, I'm gonna do that. And that's how I started. I started off, honestly, first day I went to school, I was still doing music, kinda. And I had just planned on doing like selling my CDs. I was like, I'm gonna go get an acting degree just so I can have a paper, so I can be like, mama, I did it. And I'm gonna sell my CDs while I'm on campus. And then everything kind of switched and changed, and a bunch of things happened. And my path changed, and I started taking it serious. And then I went to grad school after that for acting. Got my graduate degree, got my master's and stuff. And then like right after I graduated during the pandemic, I booked Power.
Oh, damn, right out the gate. So we want to we don't want to speed past the music part real quick, because we are a music platform. Okay. And you say you was in Kansas City, man. So tell me, man, like, what was your first rap name?
Petey Sensei. Petey Sensei was my first rap name. Everybody, it's crazy because now that I'm on this show, a lot of people know me from the show. Now I'm just now still getting used to everywhere I go, people stopping me, people wanting to take pictures and stuff outside of my hometown. You know what I mean? So like, it happens for me everywhere. I mean, I've been living in New York for probably the last 8 or 9 years. I've been away from home, but when I was in school, I was still going back every summer and stuff like that. But I know when I'm home, because people still recognize me from music. Like anywhere else, I hear people yell, Salim, wherever I go, but when I'm home, I hear people yell, Sensei, and I look and I'll be like, oh, that's somebody from my past. I got it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's dope though. Yeah.
So you got to put us on game. Again, we're a music platform. So for us, like, if you were to say, man, hey, you got to check these 3 songs out that I either rapped or produced, what would those 3 songs be?
Man, okay. So all my songs is, I would say, check all of them out. What's
the one? Well, you got a bitch at the crib, nigga. Which one you showing 50? Which one you showing 50?
Funny thing is though, you can't even check my music out nowhere anymore. I mean, I guess it's still songs that escaped. Because once I got into acting, I tried to at least scrub everything off the internet. You know what I mean? So I try to get rid of all my music, but of course it's features that I did. It's all kind of stuff that still exists on the internet, on iTunes, on all of that. But most of the stuff it's in my personal iTunes I got from albums that I kept after I did them. That you could find, I wouldn't even know, because I don't even know what's still on the internet. I'm surprised sometimes when people hit me up and they be like, yo, I found this song that you did. It's usually some song that's 10 years old or older. But I don't know. I got an album called Doing Me. It was the last album that I really did, last solo album that I really did. And I had this song on there called Running,
Right.
which there's a music video of that on, I think the music video is still on YouTube.
Yeah.
For this song called Running, which is one of my favorite songs because it was just talking about real life stuff. I was a young dude going through a lot of stuff, and it was that first, like, you know, when I first started off, it was all hood shit that I was talking about. I was talking about being in the hood, living in the hood, you know, doing, you know, guns, drugs, all that type of stuff, because that's what I was seeing.
Right.
And then once I started getting older, had kids, all that, life started hitting me. So that song was the first one that I made where I really was like, it changed the way I did music.
Right.
And that whole album was more real life, like, all right, I'm experiencing life now. I ain't just out here banging and, you know, doing this gang stuff. I gotta pay bills now. I gotta take care of these kids. I got child support, you know, all that type of stuff.
So let me ask you this, because Tech Nine's from Kansas City too, right?
Yeah. Tech is my guy.
Man, talk to me about the influence Tech Nine had, because man, I remember seeing him at a show, and his whole show was just his whole roster, bro, and people I never heard of, and they knew the word, like word for word, and I was like, damn, how's he doing that? And he sold out like the Gas Monkey Grill, like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, some crazy shit, and everybody had their merch, like they just had it set up crazy. So what does Tech Nine mean for Kansas City?
Man, for a long time, like Tech Nine was the #1 artist in the world. In the entire world. A lot of people didn't know that. He was the #1 independent artist, I should say, in the world. Because Tech Nine was selling out shows that other people didn't even, like, they had no clue that he was doing that because he wasn't mainstream.
Right.
But underground, he was going to overseas and making big money, you know, selling out shows. So for us in Kansas City, but we grew up when he was with 57th Street Road Dogs. For everybody that's in Kansas City, they gonna know what that is. But he was with 57th Street Road Dogs, and like he was a legend to us, and he was always like family to me because my family is very close to Tech Nine. Yeah. And so like I listened to his songs. It was, you know how like when you a kid and you rapping songs, but you don't really know what you rapping.
Who it is type shit.
You don't not even that. Like you rapping shit, like the words that I was saying, I didn't have no business rapping as a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just rapping it, but that's how it was with Tech. I knew all the words to all the songs. And you know, Tech could do that speed rapping where he rapping fast. I would memorize, and we all did. We memorized all his songs. So like Tech was a legend, man. And in the city, the first time I went to a Tech concert, man, I know what you're saying because it's crazy,
bro.
It's the energy I've never been, and I've been like, I've been to all kind of concerts. The only thing that was kind of close for me is when I saw Jay and Kanye for Watch the Throne. Right. But other than, and I still think that Tech had the crowd rocking more than they did because he knows how to rock a crowd, man. So like, yeah, man, it was amazing, man. And when I was doing music, like I know back then Tech had kind of co-signed me and he gave me inspiration when I was doing my music, and that made me kind of keep going. You know what I mean? He saw me at an open mic and was like, man, you remind me a lot of myself, man, when I was starting. Like, keep going. That's hard. Tech said that to me. You know what I mean? So man, Tech is a legend, man. He right now, even the way we look at Tech Nine, man, in Kansas City, is different. You know what I mean? I think the world, I mean, we seen Lil Wayne put him on and some shit. We seen some big names co-sign them, you know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. Now, one of the things that I seen, you know, just scrolling down your Instagram, I seen you posted up with Cooper Films, man. And for me, you know, like Cooper Films, for those that don't know, was the one that did the Bel-Air trailer. You know what I'm saying? And then that trailer got picked up by Will Smith for real. Yeah. Did you ever get the chance to actually work with him, or is it just somebody who shot your music videos back in the day? Like tell us about that. I mean, I'm gonna try to condense this story, but man, I really feel like Coop is one of the reasons my career is what it is today. So that original Bel-Air trailer, I was supposed to be in it.
Damn.
And I told him no when he first asked me to do it. I mean, I told him yes when he first asked me. I'm like, yes, I got you. I was working at a restaurant bartending. So he hit me up. I said yes originally, and then he hit me up like the day before, like, we filming this weekend, we filming tomorrow. I'm like, bro, I'm working a double. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Like, I wish you would have let me know ahead of time, but I'll catch y'all on the next one. He like, it's all good, but we gonna work together. I'm like, cool. So I'm in grad school at the time because I used to be in Kansas City every summer. I go back to the East Coast. I was in grad school in Jersey. I go back to Jersey. I'm in school in rehearsals for this play that I'm doing, and this girl come up to me and she showed me, she's like, you seen this new Bel-Air trailer? She like showed me on her phone, and I look at it. I'm like,
heart drop, nigga.
When I tell you my heart drop, and I knew everybody in the trailer, I was like, and this somebody who don't know nothing about Kansas City, nobody from Kansas City so far removed from it, it had went viral.
Super viral.
And I'm like, man, I told him no, because I was working at the bar and I didn't even make nothing but like $100 that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even make no money for real. So I was pissed. I'm like, but I mean, long story short, that next summer, I got back to Kansas City. I linked back up with Coop. He was doing this movie called You Shoot Videos.
Yeah.
And I linked back up with him. He hit me up and was like, I got this character I want you to do. I told you we gonna work. I'm like, bet, let's do it. So we filmed another film called You Shoot Videos. We won Tribeca Film Festival with that film. It was a major thing for Coop. For me, I mean, Coop already started blowing up because he had just did the Bel-Air. It was coming off the back of that.
Right.
But for me, you know, it was major for me because a year later, that was the year, literally the year right before the pandemic. A year later, when I was going through my showcase, because when you go to grad school, you do an acting showcase at the end. Where they basically you perform for a bunch of agents, managers,
right.
You know, big Netflix, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I did showcase, it was virtual because of the pandemic. Because usually these people come in person, they sit and watch you perform on stage.
Yeah.
It worked in my benefit though that it was virtual because we basically filmed our showcase as if it was like a TV show or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I got eyes from LA, from London, from everywhere to watch me. So the reason I say Coop is a big part of my success is because I was in a company of 15 actors and nobody got the response that I got in my company. When I tell you I probably took 100 meetings in the course of a month, I'm meeting with agents, managers. I met with the heads of Netflix, the heads of HBO, Hulu, all of that. I'm meeting with, you know, with all these casting directors and all that. And I think a big part of it is because I had work out already. And a lot of people asked me when I met with them, they like, so tell us about this project you did with Morgan Cooper. You know, because they can go and see that. I got this award-winning film that I'm in. Yeah. And so, I always, every time I talk to Coop, man, I'm like, yo, I got to give you, I know I say it all the time, but I'm giving you your flowers again, man. I appreciate you because that led me to signing with my agent, signing with my manager. You know, I got a big team of agents in New York and LA, and I got my manager and stuff. But I feel like he was a big part of that. I mean, there was a lot of work I did too, but
for sure.
He was a big part of that.
And like I said, I started following Cooper films after that, you know, that trailer and just watched the journey. And man, just like his camera work, his cinematography is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, he's one of the most talented directors that I've ran across, man.
So that was your first film?
Yeah, that was the first film I ever did.
Right out the bat.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, that's why I say I got blessed, man. The first film I did just happened to be with Coop. It happened to win awards. It happened to, I'm like, yo, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is acting easy for you?
Man, that's a hard question. Sometimes I'm a stage actor, man. So like when I'm on stage, it's different. You go through so many emotions. I'm so open. I feel like my chest is just ripped open sometimes when I'm on stage. You feel everything. You go through a journey. You know, I am the character. You know what I'm saying? The character. I don't become a character. The character becomes me, and I get to. When I'm on stage more so, I go through that journey. TV and film is a little different because like this, you know, it's a bunch of people around. It's usually like 20, 30 people in the room. It's cameras, it's lights, and you doing that take a bunch of times. It ain't like I'm just sitting there and I have to live through it. And if I mess up, I got to run with it because I'm in this world. You know, when you filming something, you could be in your moment and it's like cut. Cut. You know, so I say it's not easy at all. But it can feel easy once you become that character and once you really start to live in that world. You know, it could just feel like second nature. But the hard part about it sometimes is when you get too into a character and you don't know how to let it go. I used to have that problem a lot when I was on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like coming off a character and I can't, like my body would be, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm angry because I just came off of talking about these police killing black people and it take me an hour or two before I can shake that off. So that's the hard part for me.
I was just gonna ask, like, what was the name of that character? Like, what character was the hardest to like come out of? What was that character's purpose in the show, and like, how did you decompress?
Man, there's been a few characters. The one that comes to mind first, I did this play called Hands Up, and it's basically like 7 short plays, 7 short. They ain't short, they long monologues, but short because for a monologue, like 3, 4, 5 minutes is a long time to be saying a monologue, but that's short, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I did this and I did 2 of the monologues in this show, and they all, this was written about right after Mike Brown died. So they all had to deal with that, with the way the interaction between black people, black men specifically, but women too, black men and the police. Yeah. And, I'm doing this monologue, man, where, I started off and I'm like, yo, everybody in the audience, it was kind of interactive. I'm like, everybody in the audience, put your hands up. So I go through the monologue and then like halfway through, I'm like, y'all arms is hurting?
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all feel that, right? Imagine how we feel as black men. You know, it was deep, you know what I'm saying?
Like, hit him where it hurts.
You
Hit
know
him in the
what I'm
armpits.
saying? And it's a bunch of white people out there in the audience, and I look out, and these white people, they tears, crying, you know what I'm saying?
That's how you get them.
And like by the end of it, I get to yelling because I'm talking about, I'm basically like I'm writing a letter, and I got a bomb strapped to my chest because I'm about to go to the police station.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then so I did that one, and then the other one actually was a little harder to shake because it was about my kids and raising a son in this world because this world don't love black men. And it was saying how black men are like cicadas, you know, like we just, you know, cicadas only come out 17 years, and how I want my kid to be able to, like, all they want to do is fuck. They come out after 17 years, they fuck and they die, you know what I'm saying? So, and it was just talking about raising your kid in this world, and like, you know, that hit me too. Like by the end of it, I'm like,
Yeah. Man, you ever drop some Shakespeare game on a bitch, man? Keep it real, man. Hey, man, you know, that coochie like cicadas, baby.
all
It
the
only
time, man. Look, I be trying to tell my homies, like, man, the chicks dig Shakespeare, man. I mean, they dig anybody who Shakespeare
fuck or
make you
not to
sound
fuck?
smart. You know what I'm saying? They dig somebody who sounds smart. But I tell people all the time, like, Shakespeare relates to everything we do in life. Like when I first started doing that Shakespeare shit, man, I was like, Nope, I'm not doing that. I don't want to, nobody talks like that. I don't understand it. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? But like once I really start getting into it, and I had a professor who really helped me break it down. I'm like, man, all these plays relate to real life stuff. It relates to if you're trying to talk to a chick. It relates to if you in the hood, like slanging. It relates to like all these plays can relate to all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Would you say that Shakespeare started the first like transgender? Because women couldn't be in plays back then.
Yeah. So
men would have to play women roles.
Yep, men did all of that. He did it before Tyler Perry was doing it.
Before
Shakespeare
Tyler Perry was doing
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
So have you done Broadway?
No, I've done off Broadway, but not Broadway. Every time I get booked for a play on Broadway, which I've never been booked for a leading. Well, I guess I can't say a leading role. I've never been booked for a. I've been booked for an understudy role, but I've because of schedule, I've never been able to do them.
That's real. You know, they have Hamilton is real big on Disney right now. Fences with Denzel, they turned that into a movie, and they're remaking Color Purple. What would you say is the greatest stage play that you feel exists?
Right now, I mean that's a hard question. One of my favorites is a Shakespeare play. It's Merchant of Venice. And it's because of this one character, Shylock, to me, which represents the black man in America. You know, he talk about being a Jew, but to me, I'm like, he talking about the same stuff, how we feel about being black in America. But right now, man, my favorite, who I would say one of the greatest things ever written, and it was written pretty recently, is this play called Thoughts of a Colored Man that was on Broadway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I went to see that. I've seen it with Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Have you met him? Have y'all talked?
I have not. Nah, I haven't met Da Vinci yet. Yeah. But yeah, man, I saw that play, and it, like, I mean, before the play came out, I had read it. I never saw it in person, but one of my homeboys who went to school with Keenan, with the dude who wrote it, sent me a copy of the play before it was published, before it was even thought that it was going to be on Broadway. So I still got a copy of a very rough draft of the play, and I fell in love with it then. So when I saw it, I just was like, man, life changing, man.
It's crazy, man, because I actually won some tickets to go see a play. And like Michael, I forget his name on the radio, right? And I go in there with my baby mom at the time, right? And it was just so many black women. I was like, damn, I don't think niggas know about this. It's like kind of like the situation, right? And then when I come out, Cheaters pulls up. And they catch a nigga. Yeah, I mean, I said, this gotta be the worst spot to get caught cheating, bro. Like, this has to be the worst spot to get caught cheating, bro. Yeah, so I was gonna ask you.
He thought he was being low key, turned into a play.
He fucked up. I was gonna ask you, like, for those who don't know, how do you, like, where do these plays be at? Because, like, I didn't know about it. I just won the tickets, right?
Yeah.
But I think, after I saw it, I became a fan of it. I was like, damn, I would love to see more of this. But I just don't know when they pop up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I tell, man, it's about access, man. And black people don't have access as far as like just the info, the knowledge, the outreach. Like I know a lot of places that I go to now, they working more on that, on reaching out, because as black, like my family don't watch plays. Like that's why when I was doing plays for a long time, like I've been acting for 10 years now almost, you know what I'm saying? And people just know that I'm acting now because I'm on TV.
Right.
But I've been acting, I was on the Globe, at the Globe, you know what I'm saying? That's Shakespeare's original Globe that Shakespeare performed at and built. Like, that's a huge thing when you live in London. I lived in London when I was doing that. When you live in London, that's like the big, and if you an actor, then you know that that's like the biggest place to me, that was bigger than being on Power, you know what I'm saying? But my family didn't care about that. Right. They was like, oh, it's dope that you in London. Like, that's cool. But like, you know what I'm saying? Because as a lot of black people, especially coming from where I come from where a lot of the black people I know come from, we don't have that access to plays. So like, you know, I get on, I would say like the best bet, like Playbill, it's this website called Playbill. It usually have all the news about the plays that's going on Broadway and all that. It's different because the markets are different. I would say more black people know in New York where I was living because all the plays are happening on Broadway, off Broadway. But like when I lived in Kansas City, it's plays happening there all the time. But like the black people ain't going to them as much, you know what I'm saying? So, but these theaters are working on reaching out to black people more. Yeah. But, you know, if it ain't in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If they don't got somebody that, like, off 227 or somebody.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a bag in doing plays?
You said, is it a what?
Is there a bag in doing plays?
Okay, now we getting to the real now.
Is there a bag in doing?
Nah, if I'm being honest, man, like, that's why, like I love the theater. I'm a trained actor. I'm originally stage trained actor, and I would love to go back for real, but the money ain't there. And like, you know, I got a team now.
I feel you.
That like, you know, I got agents, and my agents got to eat off of what I get. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga,
so
you
like,
fucking Diana, you fucking a Tahada, nigga.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if I could do a TV show. Like if you book a series regular on a TV show, you can make anywhere between starting off. You can make anywhere between 10 to 25,000 an episode. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you doing a play on Broadway, even they gonna pay you starting off maybe, I think what's the SAG or the equity rate is like $986 a week or something like that is the minimum. It's like $986 a week, which is still cool, but that's Broadway though. That's only if you doing Broadway though. And usually you get paid more than the minimum, but that's where the minimum starts. But if you in a place like Kansas City, they be trying to offer me like $400 a week to do a play. I can't pay my bills with $400 a week. Yeah.
Now I gotta ask you, lesbian coochie or power coochie?
Man.
And I mean, what I mean by that, I mean TV coochie, not, you know, just in general.
I like coochie. You know what I mean?
You don't like when they role play? Like they just good at theater?
I'ma just tell you though, the women in the theater, man, they like to explore.
Oh man. I bet.
They like to explore.
So
where art thou, Mill?
Have you ever used your acting skills to like win a female back? She might have thought you was like, and you just went into the acting mode. Boom, let me get her.
Because you're a rapper too, so you got to be quick with it.
Yeah. I mean, I probably use rapping more than I've used the acting.
Listen, bitch, I wrote your song.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm good with words. You know what I mean? So I spit some words to a chick that make her be like, all right.
So I got to ask then real quick, Tyler Perry, how much credit do you give him to getting people into the theater with his plays?
Man, that was the only plays I knew when I was, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He packed out T-Mobile.
Yeah, the only plays I knew. I don't really do, I'm not a fan of musicals, which Tyler Perry's plays were musicals. Hamilton even is a musical. And Hamilton, if I'm a watch a musical like Hamilton, is amazing, you know, but that's because they add the rap in there with it, you know what I mean? But I think Tyler Perry is the GOAT because of the one who got black people. It felt like church, you know what I'm saying? Right. You go see a Tyler Perry play, it felt like church.
Hey, and I ain't gonna lie, I used to sell them bootlegs, bro, back in the day. And nigga, you had Medea goes to anything, bro. It was going down.
Yeah.
They was copping the whole set, bro. Call them.
Hey.
Now when we talk about like being on a show and reading the script, how do you prepare yourself as you read upon the script? Like, how do you prepare to get in that character? Because it's just words on paper. Like, how do you make that come to life?
Man, the process is different, low key, for every project that you do. It's different. Like usually, what I try to do though, I try to help myself out in the best way I can by given circumstances. What I, not what I call. It's a lot of actors know the term, but given circumstances. So like, who are you in this world? And from there, I try to create the world so I can see where I fit in the world. That way, I can become this character. So then I go and I beat my script out. A lot of actors know what that means, but like you take it beat by beat, and then you see what's your action in each beat. And with me, I'm like, what am I trying to get? Even if I'm in a scene by myself, I'm not talking without trying to get something from somebody. You know what I'm saying? We do it in life as humans. Like anytime we having a conversation with somebody, whatever I'm saying is because I'm trying to get something from you, even if it's just a certain type of response, or if I'm trying to get you to do something, or if I'm trying to get you to whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I take it beat by beat, and I'm like, what do I want from this person? Or what do I want from myself? Or what do I want from this situation? So I go out and do that. And sometimes it's harder, man. Sometimes you don't have all the info. Like when you working on a show like Power, we don't get, we get the script. Like, I mean, it's been times where I done got the script like a day before we go in to read it, because we do a table read before we start filming the episode. So like a lot of times you might not even have it by the time you get to film it. I haven't even got a chance to spend enough time with it. You know what I'm saying? So and with Power, because you get it episode by episode, I don't know what's happening in episode 3 while I'm filming episode 1.
Right.
And sometimes that would be really helpful, because it'll switch up and I'm like, man, I would have played that different in episode 1 if I'd have known I was going to be doing this.
Man. So
like, it's hard to know who your character is sometimes, because your character can switch fast. So like, you gotta, I make up stuff in my head of like, this is who this character is. This who, like, man, when I first started doing Salim, I didn't know he was Trevor Nelson. I had no clue that any of that was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had to create a world of who I thought Salim was just with the little bit they gave me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And with the directors, a lot of people think it's all the actors, but most of that comes from the direction of the director. Like, we got to go with the vision that they give us. And I'm learning, now that sometimes it's at your discretion, to take what that director give you and still put your vision in there too.
Have you ever been reading your script and like, these motherfuckers about to try to kill me in this motherfucker?
Man.
Salim, don't worry about coming in next week.
I feel like that's every episode on Power. And we, me and the cast, we always, because everybody, don't nobody feel safe, except for probably, Mike probably the only one that really feels safe. Maybe Mike and Gianni.
Bro, I be thinking your character be like, goes to the store to pick up what's her name, and you walking with a chick and y'all just talking, and another nigga script say, you drive by and kill somebody.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Like, just be at work and he playing like it's cool and shit.
Hey, it be little stuff. I said with that scene when we did where it was like, yeah, I Googled your dad. I was reading that. I was like, man, they about to kill me, man. Why am I Googling her daddy? Like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Googling her dad and stuff, man. Come on.
Now, before we get into Power, because Power that's my favorite shit, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I've been watching Power since the jump, nigga. That's my shit. Yeah. I feel like everybody killing it, man. How did you? Let's get this on book. How did you get on Power? Because every actor on there, bro. It's like the fanfare for y'all is different, bro. Like I've never even seen. Like I'm in a Facebook group right now where they just recap the shit, but they be having memes. Yeah. And if y'all do something outside of Power, they tie it into that and make a funny meme out that shit. Like, they really follow y'all. How did you get on Power, though?
Man, so like I got to the, I kind of told you the story of how I got my team and stuff. And once you get, I was blessed to get a good team, man. I got agents on both coasts. I got my manager and her team out of LA. And once you get a team, like, you can't get on any big show like that without having agents and managers. But once you get a team, they send you auditions. It's their job to get you work, because that's how they get paid if you book something. So I got a rock star team and I got a big team. I'm signed to one of the biggest agencies. So I had started getting auditions like right after I graduated and got my team. I was getting probably like 5, 6, that's on the low, 5, 6 auditions a week. That's good. Average, you know what I'm saying? So like I tell people all the time, everything you see on TV, if it had a black dude in it, I probably audition for it.
Damn.
Are
you in LA with this auditioning?
Everything is done self-tape now.
Self-tape, okay.
Which makes it easier. Yeah, I do it at home. Yeah, I was living in Jersey, and I just film myself. I got a bunch of film equipment and stuff. So I just film my own tapes and send them in. So I was doing like 5 or 6 on a average, a lot of times more a week that I'm doing these auditions and I'm sending them in. And when you first start, your first 50 or so, you really want them. You really want those auditions. You're like, I gotta book this. And I feel like sometimes that can hurt because you're trying too hard. I was trying real hard to get all these auditions, and it's hard also acting by yourself on a camera. You got, somebody helping you. They standing over there and they saying the other lines, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I was just doing all these auditions, and power came in the midst of all these auditions that I was getting. And after like 50, you stop caring about auditions because you're doing so many, and you just start knocking them out just to do them. Mm-hmm. And I got to that point where I wasn't trying so hard. I just was like, all right, another audition, I got to knock it out because I probably got 2 more that I got to do. So I was just doing them, and I knocked that power one out, did it, forgot about it. You start forgetting about them after you do so many. I forgot about it. And I want to say like 2 months later, I was on a flight I was going back to New York, landed in New York. My manager, she texted me, was like, you want some news? I'm like, some news? Like, what do you mean?
Let's go.
Man, I ain't booked nothing for a minute. They probably mad. Like, I ain't booked nothing since I've been signed. I'm like, okay. She called me when I got off the flight and was like, you remember you auditioned for Power a couple months ago? I'm like, yeah. She like, you got it. Ooh. I'm in the airport at baggage claim. I just was like, yo! Oh shit! Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm at baggage claim. People looking at me funny. I'm like, man, this is wild.
Wait, were you a fan of Power prior? Man. And what level of fan were you? Like, how much were you watching it?
I watched every single episode. I was a huge Power. I watched it a lot more than I do now. Actually.
Were you a late bloomer? Like, some people got on like season 3, season 4. Were you like from the jump?
I came in about season 2 of the original.
Of the
Power.
original Power.
You know
Okay, you right on time.
Season, you know what I'm saying? Because that's when Power was first came out. I low key was a bigger fan of Empire.
Yeah, Empire and Power going back and forth.
They was going back and forth.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch Power that first season because I was like, man, it ain't better than Empire, man.
Facts.
Come on. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh
shit.
Empire ain't got nothing on this.
Yeah.
So, hey.
Come on now.
So yeah, I was a big fan of it, which is why for me, when I got on Power, when I got that call, like it was huge to me because it was my favorite show on TV.
Right.
So for them to tell me like, yo, I got on this show, and originally I was only supposed to do like 2-3 episodes.
Oh, that's gonna knock you right off. That's gonna knock you right off.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet 50 Cent?
Yeah, so 50 I've never got to meet in person. I mean, hopefully one of these days soon.
Yeah.
But I never got to meet him in person. A few people actually from the cast where we do our Zooms where we do the table reads before every episode, before we start filming every episode. So everybody hop on the Zoom. But a lot of those people, I won't say a lot, but there are a few people like Courtney Kemp I ain't even met, who is the creator of Power.
Yeah, shout out Courtney Kemp.
I've never even met Courtney in person. I got to meet her on Zoom plenty of times because every episode we all hop on there, but I got to meet her either in person.
Yeah, so I'm just curious. As you're reading Power, you audition, they tell you the role you're gonna play. I'm curious because everybody has a preconceived notion of the role they're gonna play and the way they're gonna deliver. How much of your character did you know about, and did you agree with who your character was and like his place in the Power world? Like, what were you feeling personally about the character? Man,
I think there's so much that they could have done with the character that didn't get done. When you reading it though, I think you always kind of feel like that as an actor because it becomes so personal to you. With me at least, immediately it becomes that I start thinking about this is me. Like I ain't even reading it as the character, which I be trying to make myself stop doing that. But I immediately is like, how would I be doing this character? You know what I mean? So you do a bunch of that, but once you start filming, especially like you gotta let a lot. I learned that you gotta let a lot of stuff go. And what I'm learning now, from this is my first time on TV. I'm learning so much from other cast members, from because as a stage actor, it's just different. It's way different. You know what I'm saying? Being on stage and but from my castmates, man, I learned so much from them. Like I feel like I'm in school every time I'm watching them work. And I would go back and watch all the episodes I did now. I was like, man, I would do all of them different now. You know what I mean? Because and I could tell the first few episodes, like the nerves that I had, man, I was nervous. Like I was around all these people who I never thought, like I'm just a little dude from the projects. Like that's Mary J Blige right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Yo,
Method Man, bro.
You know what
He's
I'm
a
saying?
rapper. Method
Exactly.
Man.
I'm like, man, so I had all them nerves going on, but like, you try to have this idea of this character, but then you have these directors who come in and they might have a different idea of the character. Right. And then you also got writers who come in who are writing the characters and they there the whole time we filming. You know, the writers will come in, and if we saying anything off, a lot of times they'll let us go off. And right. I've learned that like you can go off a little bit more than you. No, I've learned that you can go off more than I would have thought, because they don't play that in stage. In stage, it's word for word exactly how. I was doing that them first few episodes. I was word for word because that's how I learned to act. Like, I just got to take this and make. You know, I'm a Shakespeare actor. I can't ad lib Shakespeare. I got to hit the word for word. You know what I'm saying? Right. I got to make that me. You know, I can't change it around to make it feel more like me. Right. But like with TV, you can. That's cool. You can kind of change it a little bit more, and you know, the writers will still come in and they'll be like, all right, can we at least get a couple takes with you saying and how we wrote it? But then they let you kind of go off. You know what I mean?
Now I gotta ask you, man. Yeah. Latoya.
Yeah.
Them eyes. Did you stare into them eyes? How hard is it to just not stare directly into them hazel eyes?
Hey, Toya's beautiful. Toya's my dog, man. I'm gonna tell you, like, you know, watching the show, of course, when I first started watching it.
And that's Diana for those that
Diana. When I first watched the show, you know, or when I first was watching the show, I'm like, yo, this is all, some of the most beautiful women in the world are on this show. You know, so meeting these women in person, I'm like, oh man, I'm about to meet Diana, I'm about to meet Effie, I'm about to meet Lauren. I'm like, woo. But when I got there, it wasn't even like that. Hey, Keisha, my dog, man. But it wasn't even like that when I got there, it's different. And I, you know, anytime I get in any new space, I'm super quiet, I'm super reserved. I'm socially awkward kind of, you know what I'm saying? When I get in a new space, I just kind of sit there quiet before I, you know, and I was kind of doing that. And man, Toya was the one who took me out of that. Like my first day on set, Toya started talking to me, you know, and Toya also she know a lot more of what's going on than I do, because as a series regular, they give you a lot more information.
Right.
Stuff, you know
like
I mean?
you gonna make it past the season.
Yeah, so Toya might have even knew that I was her love interest before I did. Like I knew that, like, you know, that first episode, I was flirting with her a little bit.
When you read that script, what was you like? Oh, I get hold on, wait a minute.
Man, look. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you, man, it's so crazy, man, because like, what happened was me and Toya start kicking it. We start kicking it outside of filming and stuff. Like we go out, like that's like my sister, you know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
We hang out a lot, you know, and we start hanging out a lot, and we start having these scenes, these more intimate scenes together, which made it easier. But also it makes it, I used to wonder, like, what would it, because I know those first couple scenes that we had where me and Toya wasn't as close, and we wasn't like, it was that nervous energy for me, of course, you know, and I'm trying to like respect her. I'm trying to, you know, and then once we further down the line, it's like, oh, like that's my dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's easier.
Is that really a dog though? Like, do you really feel like that? Like, because you see, and I'm saying because you see like Zalandra and Todd and Spider-Man, and he was like, he was like, man, you know, somebody asked him, what is your riz? And he was like, I have no riz. He's like, really, you just wait for your opportunity after doing 3 or 4 movies together?
Hey, man. Nah, like I try not to be on that, because I try to keep it, you know, professional for more than anything, because I'm always thinking about my job more than that, because I'm like, man, I don't want to.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, that's up the job, you know.
Look, I'm trying to stay alive.
Yeah, hey. I'm already knowing, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, so.
But nah, we talk a lot. Like, I talked to her earlier today, like, and we super close, and I think it's hard to have genuine friends in the industry.
Definitely.
So when you meet somebody like that, like me and Toya right off the bat, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I value that friendship that I got with her, you know what I mean? So
what's some games she sprinkled on you as far as just acting?
Man,
and learning how to do it.
I mean, one of the things, kind of what I was mentioning earlier, that I learned from Toya is the direction that you take from the director. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have your vision clear enough that when a director give you a direction, you could take that direction, but still have your vision of the character in that direction. You know what I'm saying? And she also the one who was like, look, I'm gonna get her in trouble. But she wanted to be telling me when I go through my lines and stuff, and she like, well, if you don't want to say it like that, don't say it like that. I'm like, but it's written. That's how they wrote it. She like, if you don't want to say it like that, don't say it like that. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like, I could, she the one who really kind of taught me that I could put more of my own flavor and style into these characters, which I didn't even start doing with Salim until later. And especially, we filming season 4, a lot more was like, I can, I'm now at this point, I'm like, I get it. I could put my own stuff in there. I can say, I change the lines a little bit, because what happens is the writers, especially when you're doing the table read, the writers will change the words.
As you're doing the table.
Because if you say it differently, sometimes they'll change the words to what you said. You know what I'm saying? And if they didn't like it, they'll keep whatever they got. But like, you can kind of put your own flavor, into those words. And that was one of the things that I learned from her, that like, okay, I can.
When you first got the role, were you hoping that you got a gangster role?
For sure. I definitely was. When I first got Salim, I didn't know that Salim wasn't gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I first was doing the audition and stuff, because it's just, I think my audition was like that scene in the bleachers from episode 1 or something like that. So I didn't know that he wasn't gonna get into some gangster stuff until I got there first day, and I'm reading the whole script, and they kind of giving me the rundown on what Salim is, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, so I'ma just play square for now. And then the gangster shit gonna come later. It's power. It's power. The gangster shit gonna come later. And then as we go along, I gave up after like episode like 3.
I ain't gonna lie, because the time to get gangster was when Tariq fucked your girl, man.
Exactly.
That was when it was time to get gangster.
I didn't let you go.
I gave up.
I didn't let you go.
Damn, bro. I was like, God damn.
So hold on. Do you feel like did they see something in me in my initial character of myself that make them think like this would be a character fit for me as that character?
For sure. Which I appreciate that, if I'm being honest. Like, man, I went through a big transitional period when I first came on the scene as an actor, because I was scared of how I would be viewed.
Right.
Because I used to be a gangster rapper. I used to be into a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? So, which is the reason why none of my music exists anymore.
Right.
I used to have dreads. I cut off my hair. I did all of that because I wanted to be accepted more in the industry, you know what I mean? And I didn't want them to fear me as a black man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You a dreadhead. I know what that means.
Tell him about the jack.
Hey.
And then Mom said, tell him about that jack boy.
I was though, you know what I'm saying? That's how I started off as a stick-up kid. Like, that's what we did, you know what I'm saying? Like, my little brother just got out, because when we was in that, you know what I'm talking about, my little brother D-Lo, like, he did 12 years behind the stuff that we was doing, you know what I'm saying? But after that point, I changed my whole image, I changed my life, and it wasn't just on some, like, I gotta change image for, like, I wanted to change my life, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to grow, I wanted to elevate, so I tried to get rid of all of that. So, like, man, I appreciate it so much now. I'm like, when people, they like, you a square? I'm like, yeah. Thank you, call me a square, because I worked hard to be a square. I worked real hard to look like a square and to come off as a square, because that's what I want to be, man. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder every time I'm out on the streets. I don't want to do that, man. I want to be a square and have a nice house and nice cars and not worry about none of that. Like, I'm gonna tell you, when I first, it was early on when I was filming Power, like, I'm talking to Toya.
Yeah.
And we having a conversation. I don't know how we got on conversation about like street stuff. And I started telling her like, yeah, man, I used to do this. I used to do that. She's like, quit lying. I'm like,
that's not in your role.
I'm like, nah, for real. To where I had to pull out my phone. I'm like, I start showing her my old pictures and stuff. And she like, wow. She like, I never would have guessed that. I'm like, yeah, because I make sure and keep it that way. Now I'm reaching a place now where I'm more comfortable in myself, and I'm more comfortable with my past. And I know it's a part of who I am, and I can only be who I am by having went through what I went through in my past. You know what I mean?
So Pete, hold on. So when you're doing this role, again, for the audience at home, they're like, man, he's square, he's corny. And you said you appreciate that because of your past. So whenever people approach you in real life and they don't know your past, do you have to try to kind of maybe tell them like, nah, my nigga, I'm more solid than you think, and don't get it fucked up.
When I first, with the first few episodes, all the memes and all the people talking crazy. I had to talk to Toya. She had to talk me down. I'm like, I kept saying, like, what I kept saying, I'm like, they gonna find out real quick. I'm not one of them. Don't approach me. Don't play with me. I'm not one of them. But like, you know, what I had to learn is like, man, I actually appreciate the attention. That means these people is watching me from all around the world. You know what I'm saying? They don't know me, so why do I care? I don't care what these people think. I don't know them, they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So like, I appreciate that they fans of what I'm doing on TV and they believe it so much that they mad. Like, man, I get hate. If y'all see the hate mail I get in my DMs, so I had to turn off, but I don't even look at it no more. Like, man, I get so much of people being like, man, fuck ass nigga. Hey, you old bitch ass snitch nigga. Or you all, like, people just be really going crazy. Like, Salim is a real person. I'm like,
hey, I'm telling you, bro, I be in the Facebook group. Hey. An hour after the show drop, nigga, they breaking the whole episode down. They on niggas' ass, all that, bro. They not playing with power, bro. They not playing with power, bro.
I said, man, that mean I'm doing something right. If these people are so invested and they believe that so much, man, I hated it at first. I hated how strong the fan base can come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, seeing that, like, you know, and I used to say, I'm like, man, I don't care about the shit they talk, but as soon as they, you know, they get to talk about, I used to be so self-conscious about a lot of stuff as an actor, especially being on camera and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was only one post that made me like really mad and stuff where I'm self-conscious about my teeth, dog. Don't get talking about how big my teeth is, man. Like, I'm like, they can talk all they want about the character, but now they talking about me. Hold up. But like, even that I let go. I'm like, man, cause you know what helped me though?
What's that?
I started going to the people pages who was making all them comments and stuff. It made me feel a lot better. Okay, I'm like, man, look who talking.
Man, I'm sitting on some stacks, man. Yeah, man. And I gotta ask you this, because one of the things about power, right, that they always talk about is how good everybody dressed, right? They have y'all in the craziest drip. You know what I'm saying? Man, do you ever be like, damn, I wish my own screen self could dress it like that in real life? Because y'all niggas be dripped down. Who do you got the power ranking of the drip on the show, man? It's like they got Woody and Tariq at the top. And they got your boy Braden too, Giovanni. They got him up there too.
Yeah. Gianni be in some dope stuff. I would give it, I would say for me, like the stuff that Mike be having on, man, like it's crazy. Like, and I watch the episodes and sometimes I'll be like, man, they don't even do it justice as what I seen in person when I was looking at that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He had on that Da Vinci suit with the, I'm like, oh, I took a picture of it. I'm like, man, I gotta get me one of these. Like, I'm like, and then a lot of stuff though, I'm like, I took pictures of a lot of stuff with intentions on getting it. Then I was like, but if I get it, I'm just gonna have on something that one of the characters wore in Power, so I can't even get it. You know what I'm saying? But man, I think the stuff that they had Mike in, man, they had him in that work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Woody be having on some dope stuff too, but I think they don't ever switch up Woody color palette. Yeah. He be in black all the time. Like, it's like, but it be some dope stuff, but it's just always black. And I'm like, Michael, they at least switch it up a little bit, you know.
Now, Lil Meech was like on a private jet. He was like, say, I don't think them boys in Power be flying like this, man. They don't be, and he's like, they don't be having luggage like this, man. Is it a little friendly rivalry between BMF and the Power series?
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, it's you know, we as black men and women on these shows, you know, it's always good. You know, we always in competition with each other because it's all for good sport. You know what I mean? Like at one point in time, we thought we was in competition with Snowfall when they was doing their last season. We had a little TikTok little battle that we was going back and forth with Damson and them on Snowfall.
Yeah, got to.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like, of course we gonna say we the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's a friendly rivalry, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, y'all killing. Y'all killing. I gotta ask, you know, from Power to Power Book 2 to, you know, just all the you know, the Power verse,
the spinoffs and everything.
Who would you say, like, as far as, you know, one thing that Starz always gave it was like a dope sex scene. Who would you give the top sex scene to as far as in the Power verse? When Ghost and Angie.
Ghost and everybody that they had him with.
Wait. So even Lala came on there with Tommy, and no one expected Lala to go in like that. That was like that. That shut the internet down for like a week or two.
It did, but I think that only was because it was Lala.
Yeah,
The scene itself, like, it was all right. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like when the first time you saw Ghost and Angie.
Yeah, not for real.
No,
yeah. They was doing it.
Yeah, they was doing it. So, and maybe you can't speak on this, but at the end of Power, we see Woody get shot. We don't know where. Everybody's speculating. Did my boy make it, man? Woody McClain. Can you speak on it?
I can't speak on.
It looked like the nigga got shot.
Fuck that, Pete. Everybody wanna know this. Ghost ain't dead, man.
Yeah, that's the real question. Is Ghost dead? Is he coming back from the dead?
Hey, you know what? You know what? They have been telling us that definitively Ghost is dead, man. People keep asking, like, nah, he's not coming back. But recently, like this, I ain't about to spill no secrets. It's the same stuff that y'all see on the internet and stuff. You know what I mean? I think money can change people's minds and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
they had to bring that nigga back with the Dragon Balls.
hey,
That nigga got shot. We watched him die. We watched old boy.
It's true.
Tommy seems.
I do gotta ask this question though. Do you think it should have been Tariq? What's his name? Tariq, right?
Tariq.
Do you think it should have been Tariq that killed his daddy? That didn't make sense to me because it was like they try to paint it like Ghost was just a bullshit daddy, and I was like, I didn't see it. Like I was like,
man, you know what happened? I don't know if y'all peeped though at the end of that season, that last season, how they made Ghost a villain. Like he started doing stuff to make everybody hate him. You know what I'm saying? And stuff to Tariq, especially to make Tariq hate him. But I'm gonna just keep it G with y'all. Like it had to be Tariq to kill him. Otherwise there would be no Ghost.
That's true.
We wouldn't have the spinoff. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of that spinoff is him killing his dad. You know what I mean? They was already thinking ahead. You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with the Power Book 2 as much as Ghost. I fuck with it equal. I mean, I think it's fire, bro. To get 9 seasons is crazy to me, bro. Now this,
is Tommy like John Wick or something? Bro. Who trained? Is he a Navy SEAL? Bro, that motherfucker's the Punisher.
He really is, man. And Tommy is one of the people who can't be stopped. Cancel Christmas on your ass. You know?
Now, I got to ask you, man. Your partner pull up, man. He pulled up with the cannon, man. He said, hey, man, check this out, man. I got the Tubi movie jumping, baby. I need you in this bitch, man. I got 5 bands for you. You fucking with it?
You said if it's my partner.
This your partner. He pulled up with the cannon. He got the script laid out, though. Straight Tubi. Hey, this bitch straight Tubi. No, lighting fucked up, all that. But this bitch hitting Tubi, though.
All right, I'm gonna keep it G. Like with me, it don't even be about. It's not a money thing to me. It's about content.
The story.
If my partner coming and he got a good story, and I read the script and I'm like, hey yo, I fuck with this. Like we can make something happen because I also got a vision. I got a vision. I got my own production company. So if my partner come to me and he got a dope story, I'm gonna help him. I might bring my own resources to be like, bro, I got cameras, I got lights, I got people. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's make it happen if he got a dope story. But I'm gonna tell him straight up. Also, like, what be a lot of times, like a lot of people ask me to do stuff. A lot of people will reach out about me doing films and doing projects, and you know, it ain't that easy. It's a lot of red tape now. Now that I'm a SAG actor, like I'm in the union, which for me presents a lot of red tape. I can't just do no movie and put it out. I can get kicked out of the union, and then I'll never be able to be on a show like Power.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So like, you gotta go as the producer of it, pay for them licenses, pay to make it a SAG project. That way you can have a SAG actor in your project. Otherwise, you can't even have any SAG actor, which is any actor that's on TV, because every TV show or movie that's in theaters or on TV is SAG. So the actors who in it have to be SAG unless you like background.
Can you explain that for those who don't know? What is a SAG actor?
SAG is a Screen Actors Guild. which is the union that all actors, that TV actors in. It's called Actors Equity for theater actors, but for film and TV actors, it's the Screen Actors Guild. And if you are on TV, if you are in any blockbuster movie, you have to be in this union. They basically force you to get in the union. Like you do something that's called a must join. Like you could do your first couple episodes on the show you could do without being SAG, and then they make you a must join. I think you get 2 episodes, something like that, or so many hours if you're doing the film or something like that, or so many weeks, my bad, that you could do before you become a must join. And once you become a must join, they say you got to pay this $3,000 because it costs $3,000 to join SAG. You got to pay this $3,000 and become a part of this union. But hopefully you working a job. You know, I was blessed that I was working Power to where that $3,000 was like, all right, cool, easy. Pay that. I'm in the union. I don't have to worry about it. But what that does is it covers you as an actor on any set. I got benefits. I got health insurance.
Oh, shit.
I got, you know what I mean? My health insurance is through SAG. If anything happens on the set where somebody, like I got a union to back me up now.
That's hard.
Which, you know, I get depressed talking about the union right now because it's a lot of stuff going on.
We're gonna talk about that. But I just gotta ask just to give the people advice. I've been watching a lot of Tubi movies lately, man, and I see where they be trying to go. You know what I'm saying? You see what they be trying to do. Yeah, man. What advice would you give to somebody just writing a script and actually making a movie? Like, where do you think they go wrong in some of the stuff that they put out?
Man, I think sometimes I feel like people don't even like you gotta really, how do I say this? Like sometimes I feel like people just want to throw something out just to say they did something. I feel like you gotta handle it with care. Like I treat every project I'm doing like my baby. If I'm going through and I'm looking at it, and them cuts that they be doing and all the, like this person was wearing a jacket and now they not when you cut back to them, like little stuff like that, continuity, man. Like I just couldn't put, and I get that you just, you know, you're really doing some stuff and you really want to put it out, but like, you got to take the care before you even get in that. Because I think what happens with a lot of them Tubi movies is they just go in and just shoot something. Right. I think what happens is you got to do all the work before. You got to do the pre-work to where stuff like that don't even come in. You got to get your homeboy to do it. Get somebody who really believe in your vision to do continuity. Continuity is stuff like that, where a jacket is, you know, you got to make sure that if this cup is sitting here and we cut and then we got to do that scene again, that cup needs to be still sitting there. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a person, there's one person's job is just that, to make sure everything looks the exact same. I just produced a film in New York where I had it was a girl who I went to school, she went to school with me. That was just her job, is to make sure that we had to refilm a bunch of stuff because I had it on this jacket. I got on this Essentials jacket. And I had it on, but I take it off midway through when we filming because I'm in the studio. It's music. The film that I just produced got a lot to do with hip hop music and classical music and stuff. And I take off this, while we in the studio, I take off this jacket, and we get to this other space where I'm supposed to not have the jacket on because I took it off earlier. And it's like, I had to keep remembering when to have it on and when to not, because we ain't filming it in order. Right. You know, we can film some stuff that's in the beginning of the movie, at the end. We could, you know, it all just kind of gets, so I got to remember when to have this jacket on, and I'm acting, so I'm not paying attention when I'm supposed to have it on and not supposed to have it on. And what happened was we started filming some scenes where the girl wasn't there, and I didn't have the jacket on. I was supposed to have it on. And when I tell you, man, I was hot too, because I'm one of the producers on the film, so I'm paying a little more attention to everything, because I'm like, every time costs money. I'm spending money where, you know, and it was a scene where I'm acting and I have to cry in this scene. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's the camera is like, we in this black void space and the camera is like pushing in on me, and I got these tears coming down, and I had to do that one over.
How do you make yourself do that?
Man, fuck where you go?
Man, there's a lot of different ways, man. I feel like it's been easier lately, cause like, when a lot of stuff is happening in my life, it's easier to cry because I don't cry in the real world. So I use that on screen time as my time to cry from everything I want to really cry about. You know what I'm saying? So when you experiencing stuff in life, like I remember the first time I ever cried on stage, I was arguing with my baby mama. Yeah, I was arguing at home, my baby mama, I'm like, whoo, I get to the stage, man, and I'm doing this play that just happened to be about being a man, and how we supposed to be strong. But when you be strong, then you too strong, and now you this and all that. And I'm saying this monologue that I have been saying for probably a month. I had been doing the same monologue, but this particular time, I just came from arguing. I'm talking about bad arguing with my baby mama. Like, I got 2 cars in the driveway. I walked. Like, had my son walk. I'm like, man, come on, I'm walking. Walk to the theater. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hot. And by the time I get there, I'm doing this monologue. And it was the first time I like actually heard the words that I was saying as I was saying them. And I used all that. And like, man, when I tell you, that's what made me want to be an actor. That was the first time, that was the first play I ever did after I first got into school and stuff. And after I got off stage, I was like, man, I want to do this forever. Like, this is a release. It's cathartic, you know? So like now, but it's different ways. Like now when I got to do that, I used to channel, because my mom passed, and I used to try to channel that, but it's dangerous. So I stopped doing that because sometimes, kind of, I was talking about that earlier, how like sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes that can get where I'm uncontrollable. So what I do now is I do as ifs. I just take a situation that's similar to whatever this situation is, and I substitute it. And I say, as if this is happening, like, as if this dog died, or as if whatever, you know what I mean? And my training taught me to be more vulnerable. Like I could cry I saw a squirrel get ran over, and I saw it dying in front of my face, in front of my eyes, and I start crying because I'm watching the squirrel die. Me before would have been like, damn, that's fucked up, and walked right past it. You know what I'm saying? But the training that I went through was hardcore, man. My first year of training ripped me open, man. I felt like I was crying every other day.
It's crazy. Yeah. The last time I cried, my baby mama like got me for my taxes.
Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it.
That makes you gonna do that.
Hey, that'll do it. That'll do it. Hold on. Sometimes it's harder though. Sometimes you gotta have a push. It's good when you have dope people to work with you though too. Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask. Now, you're a celebrity. You're a celebrity. You deal with celebrity shit, and dating as a celebrity. Let's just say your girl goes to see Usher.
Nah.
And your girl is serenaded by Usher. As a celebrity, what is your next move?
I just had this conversation yesterday. Man,
bro,
I think if you in this world, you have an understanding of the way things work. If my girl go see Usher, I just had this conversation with my best friend. I ain't tripping with my girl about none of that. Like, even, he started talking about what she had on, right? That's what he made it about, like what she was wearing.
Right,
like,
we know it wasn't about that.
No, I want my girl to be sexy. Like, put that shit on. Like, yeah. But like, if my girl doing that, you know what? I'm gonna talk shit to you. I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I'm not really mad, but now I got something that I can talk shit about. Every time you say anything, I'm be like, oh yeah, the way you was doing with Usher.
Yeah,
like that. But
we
I'm not tripping. I'm definitely not about to get on the internet. I'm not about, that's.
But when you jump in the car, that You Got It Bad gonna be playing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, as soon as she get in the car, I'm.
Now you know the hell you're gonna get if you wear some gray sweatpants to Beyonce concert and she want to do a little show with you, pull you up on the chair or something. You know you're gonna get hell.
She
like
gonna bring it up every argument.
Nah.
I know I'm not Beyonce or nothing, but you know what I'm saying? She gonna keep bringing it up. Like.
Nah, we was talking about JT and Lil Uzi, how he took a picture. he got a phone.
Man, all this should be for show. Like, I think that's what people got to realize. And when you in the industry, and a lot of people that I've met in the industry, and a lot of people even on the show, a lot of my friends have taught me that, man. Like, a lot of shit that we do, man, it's because we know the cameras is always on us. We know somebody is always watching us. So like, our partners hopefully would know that too. Anybody we dating, they would know that, like, man, this is all for show. Like, I'm doing this because I am in the public eye. When I get home with you, that's a different thing. You know how I treat you when we at home. Like, do you feel that I'm treating you bad there? If not, then why you?
Yeah, tell that to Seth. Wasn't that not Seth Rogen, but I forget his name. I gotta ask you then, because you got Michael Rainey there, but you're dealing with Mary J. Blige and also Method Man. How is it working with them two, like on set, like the living legends? Man,
I never got to me me and Method Man didn't have no scenes per se. I got to, but like we didn't have scenes where we were in the same scene together, having to work together.
Yeah.
But Meth is one of my favorites of all times.
Come on now.
Like,
Come
Mary
on
J. Blige, man, like
411. Come on now.
Mary J. Blige, like I remember my first day on set. Mary walked by, and my heart just
That nigga said she just walked by.
and I'm like, and she wasn't even close to me. She was like all the way across the room.
Bro,
and
I could only imagine.
I'm like, whoo, because I'm sitting on we all kind of hang out in the same common areas before when we not filming. We all kind of sitting there, and like that first day, I'm just kind of sitting there quiet, like just watching everybody. Like,
soak it up.
But Mary is so like Mary don't even be around us when we all be sitting together and stuff. Mary be at her own personal space, her own dressing room and stuff. So my first time, I met everybody else kind of before we said action and start going. Mary, my first time even seeing her, the cameras was rolling.
Oh wow!
And it's the scene where I'm sitting on the bleachers and I'm next to Diana. And Mary walks by, and Diana's trying to like look, and she like don't give her no look or nothing like that. That was my first time even seeing Mary.
Like action.
Yeah,
Going.
And I'm like, wow. And I mean, since then I've got to have conversations with Mary. I love Mary, man. But like, yo, it's wild. Like, I was the most starstruck though. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I was starstruck seeing Mary, but I think the one that kind of hit me the most was Larenz Tate, bro.
He's one of the greatest method actors.
I'm sitting in my chair. This is my first day. I'm sitting next to Lil Mo, who I didn't even know was Lil Mo until after talking to her for like an hour.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah. I'm sitting next to her, and I think I only really was talking to her because she was the only other person who I didn't recognize from the show, you know what I'm saying? And then right after I figured out that it was Lil Mo, I'm like, oh, that is Lil Mo. I'm like, but I ain't seen Lil Mo in like 10 years,
Right, no facts.
So that's why I didn't immediately, but I'm sitting there, it's me and her sitting next to each other talking. And I'm like, I'm gonna just talk to her because we new here. Yeah. And everybody else. And then Larenz Tate walks in, and I'm sitting there, and he walked right up to me. What's up, my brother? Welcome to season 3. Shook my hand.
That's
I'm like,
dope.
yeah, what's yeah.
Oh no.
Season 3. Yeah, I'm like, season 3.
Another nigga with dreads. When he had dreads, that nigga look crazy.
Hey.
That nigga like a real bum, bro.
It's crazy because I'm sure you grew up as becoming a thespian and stuff. Grew up to guys like Larenz Tate to see not only like Love Jones but Old Dog and the other roles he played. Like
Larenz Tate was a idol for me growing up. Before I didn't even grow up being an actor. Like I was I was in the streets and stuff. So like Larenz Tate was O-Dog to me. That's what he was before. Like even when I didn't even really watch Love Jones at first. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, that's O-Dog. Like so even when it's funny because me and Larenz was coming up. We be coming up with nicknames for everybody on set. And I told him, I was like, man, I can't even come up with a nickname for you because you just O-Dog. I'm like, your nickname is O-Dog. But of course, after later, watching Love Jones, watching everything he did, when he played Frankie Valli, like amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like watching everything that Larenz has done before I ever even became an actor, I looked at him and was like, man, that dude's one of the greatest actors ever. Which is why I think when I met him, it hit me so that I was like, he's shaking my hand. This Larenz Tate shaking my hand. Like, yeah, so man. Yeah, as a black man too, like, I'm like, man, and he's so cool, so grounded. So he's the one, him and Woody, man, watching them, I learned so much from watching them two work.
Now, we know as an actor, sometimes you have to act like you don't like somebody. Mm-hmm. But have you ever had to act like there was somebody you didn't like in real life and you had to act like you liked them for the show? Mm-hmm. How do you do? How do you? And I'm not. This is not just anytime you had to act and there was a motherfucker like you annoying, but I have to like you for this scene. Like how do you work through that, or how do you?
Man, I've never experienced it on TV, on Power at all. Thank God. I love everybody on that set, like for real, everybody real rock stars. But like, man, working on stage, especially like, I mean, for me, it only happened really when I was in, I guess that's not true, but it happened a lot when I was in school because I went to grad school. And when you in a grad school program, especially a top grad school program like I was in, you spend all your time with the same people. So of course, it's gonna be people that you start to hate, that you can't stand, all of that. So man, the way it got hard. It got hard. Hey. But what I do is, man, I try to put myself so in the world that I'm like, this is not that person. This is a whole completely different person. What is my relationship to this character that this person is playing? And then, you know, because that's even hard. Like sometimes you got to make yourself sexually attracted to somebody who you think is, you know what I mean? Who you ain't at all, who you have no kind of sexual attraction to, and you got to kiss them and make out with them and sex scene and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I've had to do on stage. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think you just, what I do, I do that same kind of substitution thing I gotta do.
Take that honey pack.
Bite that Agra.
Hey, look, that same as if I gotta do when I cry, sometimes I gotta do that when I gotta like somebody that I don't. I'm like, as if this is
Halle Berry.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean?
I mean. Now I gotta ask, how much are you into the politics of power, man? You know, 50 Cent is, you know, wanting to, you know, or maybe possibly needing to exit Starz and go a different route with the power verse. How much are you into the knowledge of what's going on with the behind the scenes and the politics of power?
Yeah, 50 gone.
He gone.
Yeah,
so Starz is a...
Yeah, like 50 done with Starz. His deal with Starz is done. He left Starz, but what a lot of people don't realize is that it doesn't really affect Power. Power is still going to be on Starz.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He's not taking his shows that are on Starz already and going somewhere. That just, he ain't making no more shows.
He ain't giving no more
with Starz, you know what I mean? And he's still a producer on Power.
Yeah, facts,
you know,
facts.
he just ended his deal with Starz to keep creating content with them and, you know.
So who leaked the show, man? Because we be in there looking like, is the leak planned? Because every season it leaks. So we be like, is this 50 planned? Like, you know, we never know if it's a joke or if it's for real.
Man, I don't know who be leaking them shows.
These was some icy leaks. This wasn't even like the bad leaks, nigga. This was the show.
Hey, I don't know who. They said Sax did because they killed him off. They put it
on Sax.
Nah, man. I mean, I don't know who. A lot of my homies came to me and was like,
"Bro, you did it." He got tight.
Nah, they didn't even come to me like that. They was all like, "So would you be mad if I watched the leaked version?"
I try to stay solid, bro. But that y'all niggas 9 and 10. Fuck.
I told him why. I said, long as you watch it again when it come out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did.
Just let it play in the background even or something, you know. Watch it again when it come out. I ain't tripping, man. I know a lot. I come from everybody. My whole family seen all them episodes. They watched all 3 of them soon as they leaked. You know what I mean? All 3 of them back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, for real. So season 4. So the writers' strike didn't affect the season 4. Was it already done or?
It did and it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't keep us from completing season 4, which season 4 is still going now. It's about to be done pretty much though. It didn't affect us to where it shut our production down all the way.
Gotcha.
It affected us in a way there can be no changes made. And because Power is a show where things are constantly changing.
Right. Gotcha.
And that's all that we have to go through the writers to be able to change anything. Like, you know, somebody could be dying and then we go a couple more episodes and we figure out, we don't want that person to die. Let's rewrite some stuff and let's go back and refilm this or you know, whatever they want to do. Like, you know, because I've heard of this happen before where somebody has died and then they had to go and rewrite it and be like, all right, we changed our mind. We don't want this person to die.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's happened before, but like now stuff like that can't happen. So if somebody die, whatever script that we got already is what we had to use. There could be no changes happening in the script now. So it affects the way we shoot. And it even affects some of that. Like I told you how we could say stuff and they change the script around. They can't do that.
Can't do that now. Ooh.
You know?
So, like 2. Now, because I was gonna ask this: does social media play a role in how they write the script for Power? Because bro, they are so involved. The social, like you see all the tweets and stuff.
I want to say I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems that way. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they and And definitely when they are making these new seasons, I think they paying attention to what people were saying about certain characters in the seasons before, and you know what I mean. Like they definitely pay attention because they write to play off of some stuff that fans say. Like even little stuff like about Tariq having a car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Always walking.
They played on.
That was a fan thing that all the fans used to talk about. You know?
Right.
Everyone's yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or the fact that it's always in the same season. It's always
Right. You know what I mean?
in fall.
Yeah. So
Okay.
No, so I'm just curious, for you as a fan of the show, how would you like to see Power to end? Tariq's story. They always go with spinoffs. So who would you like to see a story spinoff of? Where do you see, as a fan, not as your actor, but as a fan, where would you like to see it to go?
man, I honestly I like Tariq's character. I didn't at first. I didn't in the original Power. Yeah, I was like,
I was upset. I'm like, nigga, this shit daddy,
nigga. Hey, for real, I'm like, man,
that nigga.
all that. I'm like, but I see the trajectory of that character and where he could end up. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see him, because right now I think what the show is doing is they trying to put him on a similar path to what his dad was doing,
Yeah.
With Tommy, the Ghost and Tommy.
And we see the Ghost and Tommy, and we see Gianni. They trying to give Gianni his bodies now. Which is another fan thing that all the fans kept talking about.
They wanted the Tommy and Ghost,
right? Yeah. And I think that's what's happening. What I want to see is Tariq be able to win. You know what I'm saying? Because
like quit the game and go full legit.
Not quit the game.
Okay.
But to win.
Okay.
Because it's always something, ain't it?
He gotta come from
like
the negative.
every time Tariq they don't even let him win for one whole episode. He might start to win a little bit in the beginning of the episode, and then boom, he hit with something else again. You know what I'm saying? I think at least with Ghost, like you would see Ghost up for a little bit, where it's like, all right, Ghost doing his thing, and he was kind of more on top of it. So I want to see them kind of give Tariq more, just more charge over everything.
Man.
Over his fate, you know what I'm saying?
Man, he killed his daddy and his mama took the charge. He won.
We're going to go back to the biblical point of it, where you honor mother and father. Yeah. Maybe Tariq is experiencing the generational curses that it take when you actually do something like that, and you got to suffer through. Yeah, man. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They might be taking a biblical point to it. What you think about that?
Yeah.
No, hey, that's facts. So who would you like to see? Who would you like to see a spinoff of?
A spinoff, man.
If they had like one of the new characters, who would you like to see have a spinoff?
Well, originally, Tate was supposed to have.
So that's not going down. That's not going down.
I mean, I don't know if it's put on pause right now on that, but
Gotcha.
they kind of just made him a part of Ghost instead
Right.
of giving him giving him his own spinoff. I think who I would like to see, like, man, I like Kane's character a lot, but like, I wish we could dive more into it, but I feel like for a Kane spinoff, like that means just basically a Tejada family spinoff.
Right.
That's the whole family. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think that could be interesting, man. I want to learn. I'll tell you who I want to learn about. I want to learn about Effie.
Oh, prequel
Like,
bro, she
like,
is the most mysterious.
Yeah, we don't know
character.
nothing
We don't
about
know
Effie.
shit
I feel
about
like we could have a whole spinoff on Effie, just going into her past and how she got where she is. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of times where they almost teased something originally.
never
was
happened.
supposed to do a lot of stuff going into her background and all that stuff, and they kind of tease it because I think they originally planned to, but a lot of things change.
Yeah.
It changes all the time. I think they planned on going into Salim's background a lot more.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just dropped the ball after it was like, oh, you was raised by white people.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Everybody thought they were going to tie Mecca in with Effie. Like that was on the predictions on the forum board.
Everybody thought Salim was tied in with Noma, who I think Noma is a dope character too. Though.
Yeah, Noma's fire. I think they killed off Mecca way too fast.
Yeah,
he was killing that shit. He was killing that whole second season, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
So if 50 Cent, Courtney Kim could put another show on TV, what story would you like to see be told?
Ooh, that's a I think I would want to see. I would want to see, you know, I like a good redemption story. I think that's why I want Tariq to be able to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see a story of redemption, but like, my favorite type of work to make is something that speaks to the empowerment of Black men specifically.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I want a show that shows that, like, you know, we can come from where we come from, but like, I want to show something that changes the perception of Black men from the hood. Like, I think that Black men from the hood shouldn't be seen as monsters. I don't know how Courtney or 50 could do that, but that would be a dope show to me, that where like these Black men, they don't have to change who they are. They can be doing.
They could be the nigga that was in jail.
That's true. That's true.
Godfather Harlem is a story that I feel like I didn't understand.
I just started watching that.
Yeah, it's fire. I didn't know that it was so much nuance to that character. I'm like, okay, wow, this ain't just
was a street nigga.
Yep.
Changed his whole life frame.
Yep.
Pimp, street nigga. I was like, I did not know that, bro.
That's the type of stories I like, though. You know, I want to see that. And I'm a sucker for a good hood love story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love a good Black love story, man. I watched Intergalactic. I thought it was fire. The animated movie that Kid Cudi did, man, I thought that was fire. I'm like, man, we need something like this that's live action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Showing Black love. But I mean, I was just having a conversation about that. Like, man, how it's harder to make a Black love story because people don't buy into it as much. Like, I was talking to somebody how like white people can do these rom-coms and they can have they rom-coms, but if you do a Black rom-com, the only person really doing that is Kevin Hart. And if you ain't Kevin Hart, like, ain't nobody else really doing rom-coms that people will buy into. Oh,
Issa Rae.
Yeah, you're right. Issa Rae. Yeah.
She kind of killing shit. What's the worst movie you ever seen? Sharknado up there?
The worst movie that I ever seen? I don't know, man. The movies that I be feeling like the worst movie that I ever seen, they end up being like my favorite movies after a while. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought Pootie Tang was one of the worst movies I ever saw when I first saw it. Now Pootie Tang is a classic to me, bro. Like, I watched that and I'm just like, yeah, this is some of the greatest cinematic masterpiece that I've ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real.
But I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff on Tubi now. I haven't watched much of it to really say that it's like the worst stuff I've seen. But just from seeing some of the clips that I've seen, I'm like,
it's bad.
Yo, these people didn't even care.
They ain't even give a damn.
They didn't give.
Yeah, it's wild. So
I think Pootie Tang, at least, like, these people, they was doing something. They knew what they was doing. Yeah, they knew what they was doing.
So, man, tell us, like, you say you got a movie that's coming out that you working on. Tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's called, we in the process of changing the name and stuff now. But it's called Duende as of now. But it's basically about Mozart and Salieri, the classical composers.
Yeah.
This dude, Alexander Pushkin, wrote a play in the 17th century about Mozart and Salieri. And basically in this play, Mozart is this hot young composer coming up. Salieri is jealous of him and he poisons him and kills him. That's the short of the story.
Right.
Salieri kills Mozart. In the movie,
this is real Shakespearean
type shit. It's classical work. But in the movie that I'm doing, I have that going on, right? We bought the wigs, we got we got locations that look like, 17th century locations, all of that. But at the same time, that story is happening in contemporary world too. So it's Mozart and Salieri, then you got Maz and Sal, who are rappers. You got Sal's the OG rapper who I played in it. He the rapper who been doing this thing for a while, but he kind of falling off and he making songs to stay relevant. He talking about jewelry and cars and all that and booty shaking because he's trying to stay relevant. And then you got this younger dude, Maz, who's like the hottest new artist who effortlessly just comes in and got all the fans and doing the stuff. So like Sal is jealous in the same way. So it's dope because what's happening in this movie that I'm doing, the characters it's happening at the same time. You see these two worlds and they finishing each other's sentences where it's like going from the classical world to the contemporary world. And then
that's a crazy concept.
The worlds start merging into each other where you find classical stuff in the modern world. Modern stuff is appearing in the classical world. All through the process of these characters are kind of losing their minds where like my character, who's kind of like the lead, which we didn't know that when we was filming until we start filming it with the director that we hired, who was like, man, this is Sal's story. And because he sees these visions and he starts seeing Salieri and he start talking to this dude from the 17th century. You know what I'm saying? They have conversations about killing Mozart and Maz. And then, you know, it's about changing, the whole film is about changing the narrative in hip hop. Cause it's about like, why we all can't exist in the same sphere as hip hop artists, like why we gotta hate on each other.
Right.
It don't gotta be violence. We ain't gotta kill the next dude who coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's about, it talks a lot about how labels handle black men and like date a real enemy, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's a fire concept, bro. I ain't even never heard of no concept like that. That was all you just came up with that?
Man, it was something that we started. So my homeboy Robert is the main writer on it. We started writing it together my second year of grad school, which was like 6 years ago, something like that. And we were supposed to film it. We wasn't even gonna do this modern part with the hip hop and rap stuff. We were just gonna do we was in a classical class, learning about classical plays and theater and stuff. And we was gonna film it with one of our professors, just like on some, get a little camera, film this little thing. And after we graduated, we started this film production company. And Robert kind of just brought it back off the shelf and was like, yo, remember that thing that we was writing? Like, I wrote a new version of it. So he wrote it. I came and I rewrote what he wrote because it's a lot of black characters. And of course, I had to come in and, you know, he Hispanic, he a Colombian dude, but he can't write black dialogue and stuff. So I came in, I rewrote it. And like, yeah, I came up with the ideas because I was, especially the ideas like about black men and hip hop and stuff. I'm like, yo, this is what we got to talk about. This is what we got to. So yeah, it was me and him who came up with the idea. And then we got a dope team, like my homeboy Lucas, who's a Emmy award winning cinematographer who came through to do the cinematography on it. And man, we made it happen, man.
No, that's live. That's live. Now, are you shamelessly plugging some of your music in there? Are you doing some new music for this?
I am. I did a song for the film. There is a song who my character performs. It's not, it's gonna be on the soundtrack too, but the song it's the song that the character is making
in the movie.
Where the song where it's like, man, I just had a conversation with the dude who's editing. He's like, man, that song is hard. He was like, it was kind of too dope because it's supposed to not be as dope because it's falling off. And I'm like, yeah, man, I had that trouble when I was writing it. Like, how do I write a song that's dope but not dope? And that, you know what I mean? But that song will be on there. And then I got the soundtrack. It's gonna be the dopest part to me. It's gonna be my favorite part of this film because I got Tech on the soundtrack. Tech is on the soundtrack. Two Gun Kiwi is on the soundtrack. Sully 4Q with some Kansas City artists. Bad News is gonna be on the
Bad
soundtrack.
News from the rapper?
From Bad News. He gonna be from the show, the Rhythm and Flow show. Yeah. He gonna that's my dog.
Yeah.
He gonna be on the soundtrack. So I got a lot of people, man, that I'm still actively reaching out. So if anybody watching this who want to submit for the soundtrack, like submit them tracks. I'm working on putting it together. My homeboy Sully 4Q, he is producing the soundtrack for me. And he came through. He got a dope song with him and Tech on there. So far, it's an ongoing process, but yeah, man, the soundtrack gonna be dope. Man, y'all and I got a song on there, you know.
Kansas City putting on, man. Yeah, between you and Cougar Films and Cooper Films, man, y'all going crazy, man. So when can we be expecting that? Like, when can we be looking out for that project? Because we definitely gonna support it over here, man.
Man, I just finished another project that I'm hoping will be out soon that I'm working on with Talib Kweli is a part of the project that I just got done filming in Kansas City. I filmed it in Kansas City.
You kind of saying that real modest though, like. Yeah. You really dropping some hard names, man.
He's not in it, but he's one of the one of the producers on it, and he came through. Kevin Wilmot was a part of or I guess they was in talks with Kevin Wilmot as a producer. But yeah, Talib Kweli had this song, and which was the whole concept of this film that I play a teacher in, play a professor. And I'm like the lead in that, so that should be coming out hopefully in the next few months. That one will be out. The one that I produced, hopefully in the next few months too. I'm gonna have a big premiere. I want to do two, one in New York and one in Kansas City for sure. I'm gonna have one in New York. I'm gonna see because I got to look at rules with these festivals and stuff if I'm able to have two of them. But I got to give it its festival run, so I might not even be able to put it out to the public. Besides the live premieres, I might not be able to put it out into the public till like next April because I got to wait. A lot of like Sundance, a lot of the festivals, they in like August, September, but then like we just missed the deadline for Tribeca, which was in April, so I have to wait until after that to be able to put it out to the public.
That's real. Well, I want to bring in I was about to bring in somebody. First and foremost, Monsta Mon brought you on, man, and we want to bring him in on the scene because y'all got some shit going on as far as about to go down this weekend and some projects. Goddamn. No doubt business. And as I bring Mon in, and Mon, we're about to introduce you, but I want you to speak on closed-minded real quick, because that in itself is something that is a dope concept from the visual aspect, but also as a black man, the dressing aspect. Right. You know what I'm saying? As far as what is closed-minded and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, man. I wanna take that and make it something bigger too, man. It was a small concept that I had because all my life I always kind of been people always knew me for dressing, for being fly, for wearing fly clothes and stuff. I always wore clothes as a way to hide though, as a black man. You know what I'm saying? I always wore it as not even a way to hide, as an armor. You know what I'm saying? Like I dress fly because I want people to perceive me a certain way. And that's in any situation that I go into, right? Whether it's for a job interview, when I'm on the block, I dress a certain way, I dress fly. You know what I'm saying? I got my kicks. I want people to know what's what, you know what I mean? And the whole concept was that we wear this armor because we not able to just be who we are as black men. We always got to put something on every time we walk out the house, whether it's to feel comfortable in the hood, whether it's to feel comfortable when you around these white people, whether it's where, you know, no matter what it is. So the whole concept is like closed-minded. You know, we put on that drip and it makes us, it's closed as in closed and then closed off like, you know, we closed-minded. I
love it.
Fashion Sense was the original title. It was called Fashion Sense.
I love it.
But yeah, man, it's just about you know, what are we when we take all that armor off and we got to go home at the end of the night. You know, at the end of the film, it's me with the target on my back. After you take off all that clothes and you get home, man, it's just you and yourself.
Raw in the raw. Yeah. Now, Ma, what's good with it, baby?
Man, thugging on it, man. Same old thugging, man.
Now, mind you, this is an unlikely scenario where y'all two linked up. I mean, I'm just curious, how the hell
God did?
God did. Hey, let me tell you, man.
How did this link up happen? Goddamn it!
This been the dope. Like, I got to Dallas probably like 3 months ago or something like that.
Tell him, please. Yeah.
And like this dude shows so much love, man. The first day I got here, like I get there, I met it was Lady C that I met first. And
Shout out Lady C.
She told me the way that she even pulled up is because somebody else had called her and told her that I was in Hideaway with my cousins and stuff. I got, you know, family who live here and stuff. I'm in Hideaway with my cousins. Lady C said somebody called her and told her I was up there. She introduced herself. I got to talking to her. She like, you need some weed? You know, she's like, yeah.
we gonna get it right.
You know what I mean? Hey, smoke. You know, you smoke. So, bam, in comes my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Big
man.
And we big blown.
Hey, we exchanged information that day. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, you know, I'm really trying to tap into the culture here in Dallas, man. I'm like, I got family here. I'm thinking about moving down here. I'm like, hey, man, like show me what's what down here. You know? And he like, man, I got everything on lock. You know what he told me? Wait. Hey, you know what he told me? He said, I'm the 50 Cent of Dallas.
Yeah, did he tell you he had over 1 million views on YouTube?
No, he didn't tell me that part.
Oh, shit. He didn't tell you that part. He said he known around these parts.
Hey, you know? Man, yeah, told me with the biggest gangster in the city, man. But you know, I'd have just cooled down a little taste.
Hey, man. You know, hey, and we on some real shit, though. You know what I'm saying? We really done became like brothers in a short amount of time, man. Like we sit, man, we talk. We have conversations about life, about what we want to do, about the plans, about what's next, man, about how we raise our kids, like stuff like that, man. Like just a real genuine dude, man. So it's love. So every time I fly back into Dallas, that's the first person I hit up. I'm like, yo, Mon, what you want, man? That's my OG right there.
Yeah, talk to him. Mom, so what y'all got working? I mean, because obviously, you know, you've been in the music, you've been in the streets, you've been in the thing.
Man, you know,
you hooked up with Petey. How everything
on the
go?
Cool, Pete told me, say, man, look, man, all bullshit aside, man, we need to get some money, man. What's happening? I said, say, man, that is the way it's at, bro. You know, we can make it happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey man, it's a market around here for, especially the TV show like you know, when we mention Power, man, you know, hey, that's one of my favorite TV shows, man. Like real talk. Like I said it, hey, I'm one of them type of people that I said and I go and watch series all the way from the season 1, all the way up until where it is now, like. Cause I play the couch just like we playing the couch now. I play this couch, man. I played the couch for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Real. So I'm on them. You know, I watch TV all the time. So
music wise, Are y'all linked up on some music shit?
Yeah, man. We got some shit coming, man. You know, hey.
Is it secret? Is there anything y'all can touch on
No,
right now?
hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a big secret. Yeah, man. Hey, man. All I'm saying is, my dog adding a bunch of flavor. You know what I'm talking about? And you know,
Man, we take it every avenue, man.
Every avenue,
like
man.
I told Mon, like he right. I'm like, yo, we got. I'm like, I'm trying to make some money. Like this. It's cool. Celebrity is cool, but only if the celebrity bring me some money.
Yeah, for real.
Know? So I'm like,
I tell him I'm one of them type. You know, hey, all the fame. You know, run bigger than the name, man. We need the money to match that.
Yeah, man.
So like, how do we get it, man? We working on music, man. We got this event coming up, you know, next weekend
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. We got an event on the 15th.
Saturday, July 15th.
Yeah, Saturday, July 15th.
Hideaway, man. You know,
At the Hideaway.
y'all already know that's my favorite spot. You know what I'm talking about? Every time I go live, every time I'm on a picture, man. We there, man. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Shout out to Bill, man. Shout out to Bill, man.
Shout out to
Bill. We fuck with you,
So
man.
what's the event going on this Saturday, man? Just in case those who might be able to go to it, and even if they miss it, what was it? What is it? And what are y'all doing there on the 15th of Saturday?
Man, good meet and greet, good company, man. You know, everybody, you know, and I'm gonna say the first thing I can say is that it's a safe environment. Like, you know, everybody's on some, you know, hey man, we here to meet, greet, and be in the company of each other, man, and good vibes. You know what I'm saying? None of that young boy bullshit. And I ain't talking about young boy, shout out to young boy. None of the young, you know, I'm talking about bullshit. You know
Petey, what was your thoughts of the Hideaway when you first went up to the hill?
Man, I thought, when I first pulled up the Hideaway, first of all, I'm gonna tell you, because I said, this where all the people from Kansas City be hiding at. I saw so many people from back home when I was in there. I said, I felt right at home, man. I saw so many people I know. And then keep it G, man, like Hideaway show love. I mean, a lot of places show love now because of me being on TV and stuff, but like it's different there, you know what I mean? It just feels different when I'm in Hideaway. Like everybody got your back, everybody looking out for you, everybody like it feel like love in there, you know what I'm saying? So that's what when I was there, I was like, man, this place is trouble. I gotta stay away from here because I'll be in here all the time. And them drinks.
Oof, come on.
Hey man.
Them drinks at Hideaway.
Hey man, we pouring them up.
Come on, man. I'm used to look. I get whiskey. I drink my whiskey straight. You know what I'm saying? Whiskey straight, or Douce, or Hennessy, whatever. I drink it straight on the rocks. It'd be about that. You know what I'm saying? Hideaway, it's all alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm like,
nigga,
on the rocks.
On the rocks, no chasing.
Hey, but it's love, man. They show love in there. Everybody is cool.
On the rocks, man.
Well, let's do it like this, man. Cause mine, you know, definitely we're gonna chop it up. But Peter, I want you to definitely go through there, man. As far as for those fans sitting at home, you know, right now they like probably wondering. They probably know you on Power, but now they're gonna be fans of who you are and what you've done already, you know, through theater and everything else. What do you have coming up yourself as far as when they log onto your Instagram, when they look and see what you got going, even outside of Power? Like, what do you have coming up that you are working on?
Man, what I'm working on now, man, I'm actually keep it G, man. I'm going through a bit of a reset right now. A lot of it is because this writer strike that's happening has been slowing production down. I ain't been getting the auditions like I usually would because of the writer strike, and everything's shut down in the industry, right? Nothing's being filmed, TV or film. So I'm like, I'm taking a little time, kind of going on a sabbatical of sorts, you know what I mean? To really kind of just take a break from everything, do some meditating, doing some music. I'm gonna be doing a lot of music. So that's what people can look forward to, because I'm gonna have time to like really get in touch with myself again, with my brain, and really be able to come out with this music, man. I got a lot of stuff on backstock already. I'm writing all the time. I'm constantly writing. So, you know, I'm about to start putting it out. I'm about to start, you know, if you look on my Instagram, it's a bunch of little videos where I just do my little verses
you've been
and
coming with
stuff
the
like
bar.
that.
Yeah, nigga, you got something heavy.
You know, so I'm about to take a couple of them and make the full songs. I'm gonna start dropping more little videos, because that just be when I just be ready. I'm like, man, I ain't doing nothing. I need to just drop a video on Instagram. And I've been moving around so much that I haven't been able to really do nothing. But now I'm about to kind of set myself here in Dallas, at least for a month or so. I mean, I got to travel a little bit for the next week or so back and forth, but like after that,
Dallas
for like
will be a
month or
place.
so, yeah, I'm gonna settle here for like a month or so, just so I can sit down, do some music, put that out, man.
There you go, man. For those that do want to follow your journey, get on Instagram, get on Rumble, whatever you want. Yeah. Where are your handles? How can they follow?
Yeah, man. It's Petey McGee on Instagram with an extra E. PETEYMCGEEE. It's Petey McGee on IG. That's pretty much the only thing I use. I'm on TikTok and Facebook and Snapchat. Nah, it's Petey McGee anywhere you look at it. But Instagram, the only one that I really use, and I try not to even be on there as much. But you can always, if you want to talk to me about anything, you want to talk to me about life, about movies. I'm always constantly working on movies. So I got a big movie that I've got that I'm working on that I just wrote. That I'm gonna have a lot of big names working in this movie that I'm producing, but it's in early stages. I'm still editing on the other one. But like, you want to talk about anything, the best way to get to me is email, info@petymcgee.com.
There you go.
Shoot me an email.
There you go. Yeah. For those that you would like to shout out to got you here on this journey, is there any shout outs you want to give that got you to this point? Yeah,
man, for sure. Like my mama first and foremost, like my mama and God together, put me on this journey. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mom. Like I always say, she kind of made a sacrifice. Like my mother's death is what started me on the path that I'm on. I wanted to make her proud. I wanted to do something to make her proud. Now I'm doing stuff beyond my wildest dreams, and God gave me that vision through my mom. So my mama for sure. All my family who constantly supported me, you know what I mean? Like the professor who got me started in acting, Scott Stackhouse, and then Kevin Kittle, you know what I mean? My team, First Fight Films, everybody, Maxine, Rob, Laz, like the whole team, Walker. And all my loved ones, they know who they are, man. My kids for sure. They the reason that I keep going. Man. I keep going because of them babies that I gotta take care of. And I hope that they are
biggest motivation.
In everything that they do. I hope they fearless and brave and decide to go after whatever they want to do, the same way I do.
Man, there you go, man. Well, I ain't gotta say it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a blessing to have you here on the couch, man. Talk this power stuff. Talk this power verse. You know what I'm saying? Petey McGee and the goddamn boy. You already know, man. We gotta say it. Man, I gotta say you are a real life street star, man. We gotta salute this shit for real, man. Nah, thank you, man. Ma, you already know what it is, bro. Hey, we salute that shit.